Hello and welcome to Creature Features. Now, last month we talked about B-movies with them, and well, I've got a craving for some more. So I guess I'm just a sucker for dumb, cheap sci-fi movies from the 50s and 60s. And oh boy, let me tell you, the movie we're looking at today fits that criteria and then some. Frankenstein Meets the Space Monster is a 1965 sci-fi movie made for a budget of approximately $60,000. It tells the story of Frank, a robot astronaut created to prevent human death on missions to space. When he sets out on his mission to Mars, a group of Martians who just so happen to have come to Earth shoot down his ship. Frank then gets blasted by a ray gun, burning half his face, and he starts wandering aimlessly. Meanwhile, the Martians start kidnapping Earthwomen. Now the scientists who made Frank have to track him down to save the day. This is a very dumb movie. The story is stupid, the characters have no personality, the writing is subpar, the makeup is pretty awful, and it generally doesn't work. But then, it's Frankenstein Meets the Space Monster. I wasn't really expecting it to be good. And just because something isn't good doesn't mean it can't be entertaining. I mean, who doesn't enjoy a so bad it's good film now and then? And I could definitely talk for a while about how so bad it's good this is. I mean, look at the alien makeup. You can see the seam on the bald cap. And on Frank, his burn is perfectly half of his face, like literally just a straight line down the middle. It's kind of staggering just how noticeably fake it looks, and it really just makes me laugh. Oh, and it is not the only thing here that really amuses me. The music is so badly done that I couldn't help but crack up. In this early scene, they stop the score every time people talk and then start it over again afterwards.
How are you doing, Miss Grant?
It's baffling. And listen to what it sounds like. Does this make you think of anything? How about if I put something else over it? There it is. And it's not just the score. There are points when songs that can best be described as Beatles light start playing right out of nowhere. At really inappropriate moments too. Like, here, the scientists need to rush off to save Frank before the military find and kill him, and it should be this intense moment, but suddenly... This isn't an action scene. This is a lovely Vespa ride. I feel like we just stumbled into an ad for an Italian beer. I mean, can you imagine if any other movies did this? It just wouldn't work. Another unusual thing I noticed here was a couple of random freeze frames in the middle of the scenes. First, when Frank seizes up because of the humidity, and again when they reveal his burnt face. The film is going on at its regular rate and then suddenly freezes awkwardly. I mean, it's not just me, that's strange, right? I mean, come on! But lest we forget, this show is called Creature Features, so let's look at the creatures. Frankenstein and the Space Monster. Well, I mean, they're both in the title, so they must both be in it, yeah? Well, I mean, there is a space monster at least, but Frankenstein? Not really. Frank is meant to be our Frankenstein's monster here, but he isn't. He's a robot. Or, if you like the scientist in this movie, a robot.
Remember, he's a robot, not a man, Karen.
But there's no Dr. Frankenstein, and he's not a bunch of stitched-together dead people. They tried to justify calling him a Frankenstein with this line.
What you're saying is that he could turn into a Frankenstein.
Lame. I'm sorry. I just have certain standards for my Frankensteins is all. But as his own entity, a robot with a burnt face, he's not bad. He doesn't do much interesting, but he serves the purpose, I guess. And he does meet the space monster. But not until the last 5 minutes of the movie. The space monster is a big Hulk who just roars and fights Frank. The costume is not great, but I'm always cool with seeing guys in rubber suits grappling, so I can't complain too much. But yeah, there's no real Frankenstein, and he only meets the space monster in the last 5 minutes, so... Is there anything else we can call this? Actually, yes. There are several alternate titles, so let's try them. Duel of the Space Monsters. Well, there's only one space monster, so that doesn't scan. Frankenstein Meets the Space Men. If by meet you mean kill, so no. Mars Attacks Puerto Rico. They kidnap the women, they don't really attack anyone, so... Operation San Juan. I don't even know where you get that from. Mars invades Puerto Rico? I guess that's accurate enough. That'll do. As for the whole kidnapping the women thing, that brings up a whole other set of issues. The women get kidnapped and then have no dialogue. And with all these women who appear in the film, only 2 talk. The most noticeable example of this was this bikini lady, who again, gets kidnapped, but has no dialogue. But I put even money that she's on the poster. Ha! Twice. Do I know B-movies or what? So yeah, Frankenstein meets, Mars Invades Puerto Rico is not exactly a good movie, but I'll be damned if I didn't have fun watching it. Its almost constant terrible choices made me laugh throughout, and it's basically what you'd expect when you look at what the movie is. So I'd say this is another, if you're into that kind of thing, type of movie. And I am into that kind of thing, so until next time, this has been Creature Features.
We'll walk in the rain if you really care to.
Remember, he's a robot, not a man, Karen.